First up, she is Israel's first special envoy for combating anti-Semitism and delegitimization, and the author of Israel, A Simple Guide to the Most Misunderstood Country on Earth, Noa Tishby. Hey, you. I told you I'd get you here.
I know you did. You sure did.
I did. I've wanted you here for a long time, but I was waiting for the time when I really needed to understand what's going on in Israel.
And here we are.
And here we are. And you're the one to explain this to me. I mean, I have read some really disturbing things. I mean, usually in the past, okay, it was Israel against the people, their neighbors who are not big fans of them, and that was the war. Now it's internal. Now Israel seems to be fighting with itself. I mean, I see protesters in the streets, hundreds of thousands. For people who are not following this, please tell us why the president of Israel said civil war is possible. He said the abyss is within touching distance. Why is this?
Okay, this is, first of all, slightly dramatic. Let's just be straight here. What we're seeing in Israel, it is. It's great. He's a great friend of mine and an incredible human being. What's happening in Israel right now, what we're seeing, is literally democracy on full display. It's actually quite extraordinary. So let's backtrack for a little bit. So a few months ago, Benjamin Netanyahu, whom you know very well, won the election. And because of how the parliamentary system is built in Israel, he started this coalition, which is on the extreme side. It's right-wing, more religious.
Very right-wing.
As it happens in the U.S., when new governments come in, they jump in to make sweeping changes quite quickly. And that's what this government decided to do. They suggested a judiciary overhaul, which is going too far. And the Israeli people are basically rebelling against it now.
So
sorry.
Let me ask you this, though. I've heard this, that's the big thing, that he wants to somehow make it so that the Congress can basically overrule this. It would be like our Congress, with a majority of one, could overrule our Supreme Court.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Tell me, is the Israeli system the same as ours, with 3 forms of government, checks and balances between 3 equal forms of government?
Not entirely. And also the biggest problem within the Israeli system is that there's no constitution. So right now what we're seeing is a conflict between the government and the Supreme Court. The government wants to take too much power, basically, and overrule the Supreme Court decision by a simple majority. But the Israeli people are rebelling against this. This is quite amazing.
You yourself have spoken out against this.
I have.
And you never really spoke out against any Israeli policy before.
I never have.
And I must say, a lot of people, like I think I would put myself in this camp, have been supporters of Netanyahu, even when many others weren't. And people have said to me, well, he's so conservative. I'm like, but we're a different country than Israel.
Yes,
Israel's a country that is perpetually at war. Yes. In that country, I'm not against somebody who was a little more conservative being at the helm. But he seems to be losing even his supporters. I can't think of anybody.
Over 60% of the Israeli public wants to stop this overhaul. 54% of Likud voters didn't know that this would be the first line of item for this new government. And I do believe that it's going to stop. It's not going to pass in its current form. It shouldn't pass in its current form. And what we are seeing, though, it's incredible what's happening. Nearly 10% of the Israeli population is out on the street, and there are no riots, there's no violence, there's no blood. One person got hurt, but that's about it. So it's an extraordinarily creative demonstration. Israeli people are speaking up. They don't want this.
It's more than